Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, lay a few bucks down and step right up into this here tent to see a sight you won't find anywhere else in the country. Found in the ice-cold regions of Siberia and brought to the United States by an eccentric California millionaire, feast your eyes upon the missing link between Neanderthals and man, preserved in ice well after his death, the Minnesota Iceman. The story of the Minnesota Iceman began in the 1960s, and a fellow by the name of Frank Hansen began touring the United States with what he called a man left over from the Ice Age. The specimen was a humanoid body that was about 6 feet tall, with especially large hands and feet, and thick, dark hair from head to toe. It was also said to be missing an eye, allegedly as a result of the eye socket being the site of the bullet wound that killed the entity. Hansen said that the Iceman was first discovered in Siberia and had been brought back to the USA by, and I quote, an eccentric California millionaire. For the low price of 25 cents, about $2.50 in 2024 dollars, you could see the creature encased in a block of ice yourself. The tour began in Minnesota, which gave the creature its name, and primarily took place in locations like carnivals, malls, and various state fairs. There is one problem I have with Hansen's Iceman, and that's that it was a fake. It was a latex model, and was eventually sold on eBay in 2013. I think it's also possible that there's more than one of these fake Icemen touring the country over the years. Stories from people that saw the hoaxes make it sound like there were a few, probably not all from Hansen, and definitely of varying levels of quality. Now, if this story ended with our Iceman being a carnival sideshow hoax and nothing more, I probably wouldn't have even made this video. The reason I did is because there's a twist to the story that is really interesting. There were more than a few prominent figures in the cryptozoology community at the time that claimed that there were in fact 2 Minnesota Icemen. There was the carnival sideshow hoax that most people think of when you bring up the Minnesota Iceman, but that wasn't the original specimen. It's said that the original Iceman was quite possibly the real deal. The figures that claim this include men like Bernard Heuvelmans and Ivan T. Sanderson, both undisputed founding fathers of cryptozoology that possessed scientific pedigrees. Heuvelmans and Sanderson were able to examine the specimen at Hansen's home in 1968, and they concluded that it was genuine. They said they were even able to smell the putrefaction that had occurred as a result of part of the creature being exposed where the ice it was encased in had melted. Heuvelmans theorized that the Iceman was a Vietnam rock ape, a sort of Bigfoot-esque creature that was reported by U.S. soldiers during the Vietnam War. They were bipedal ape-like beings. They were about 6 feet tall, and they would throw giant rocks at American GIs. Again, Heuvelmans and Sanderson were 2 men with advanced degrees in scientific fields. They weren't people that would declare anything they saw that was vaguely Bigfoot-shaped to be the way, the truth, and the light. Now, this isn't to say that they couldn't have been fooled, but based off of the descriptions of the Iceman from people who saw it at malls or carnivals, there's no way that the hoax version could have fooled adults with reasonably good vision, much less a pair of scientists. There are also many reports from people that are north of 50 years old and have claimed to have seen the original specimen when it was touring. They claim that they believe what they saw could not have been faked, and there are even a few who claim to have seen the later version and that there was a very clear distinction. The questions remain. If there was a genuine Minnesota Iceman, what was it really? What happened to the specimen, and why was it replaced by a cheap-looking fake? I've heard claims that the ice holding the creature in place kept melting and people complained about the smell. I've heard that it was taken by Canadian Customs when Hansen was trying to cross the border and they thought it was a murder victim. I've heard that it was simply lost, taken by the government. Really take your pick for which explanation you prefer. The belief among people that think there was a real Iceman at some point is that when the genuine Iceman had gone missing, and had become such a good source of income for Hansen that he replaced it with a fake to keep the money rolling in. Honestly, it wouldn't be the first, and it definitely wasn't the last time something like that has happened. So what do you think? Was there ever some truth to these stories of an actual, genuine Minnesota Iceman? Let me know in the comment section below.